Hi, chemistry students. This is day 2 of our 3-day mini unit on solutions. And this is part 3, so let's go ahead and get started. We're talking about concentrations of solutions in this part of the mini unit. So when we're looking at concentration of a solution, it's a measure of the amount of solute that's dissolved in a given quantity of solvent. If you have a solution that has a relatively small amount of solute, it's called a dilute solution. And if it's concentrated, it means it has a lot more solute. So I use some examples about chocolate milk, okay, cold chocolate milk. If I have chocolate milk that's kind of pathetic, I just put a little bit of Nestle's Quick in it with some milk. Okay, would that be a dilute solution or a concentrated solution? You're right, it's dilute. Okay, a concentrated solution is where you have a lot more solute, which would be your Nestle's Quick, in the solvent, which is milk. So when we're looking at these two solutions, we can see that one is darker than the other. Okay, the darker one has more solute. Okay, the solute is the stuff that's making it blue. And this is an aqueous solution, so we know that the solvent is, you're right, it's water. Okay, now when you dilute a solution, what you do is you just add more water to it. You're not changing the overall amount of the solute. You have the same number of particles of solute in A as you do in B. It's just that B, they're spread out more because there's more solvent. So keep that in mind. The concentration's less, this one's definitely dilute compared to this one, but you still have the same number of solute particles. So make sure you understand this key idea. The moles of solute before dilution will be the same as the number of moles of solute after dilution. It's just that the ratio of solute to solvent will change. We use molarity to determine the concentrations of solution in chemistry. We also use percent and parts per billion. There's all kinds of parts per million. There's a bunch of different ways of figuring out concentrations. We're going to focus on molarity and percent solutions. So this formula, very important for you to have you write down. Molarity, which is symbolized by the capital M, equals the number of moles of solute per liter of solution. Now, if you remember, we can't really measure a mole of anything. We will be giving things a lot in grams, and so we'll have to convert the grams to moles. Makes sense. Okay. They'll also call this solving for the molar concentration of the solution. Make sure you realize this has to be in liters. The solution, the total solution has to be in liters. And if you have grams, you have to convert to moles first. So if I have a 12 molar solution compared to a 2 molar solution, the 12 molar solution has more moles or more grams of solute in it. So it's more concentrated. In fact, it's 6 times more concentrated. This is just showing you how you would make a molar solution. You put a little water in first and then dump in your solute, which is your powder. This one's kind of making stuff brown, probably iron chloride. And then you mix it up and then you dilute it up to the line. Okay, you dilute it up until you have 1 liter of solution. So here's a problem. Okay, and the problem is stating you have 0.9 grams of NaCl, that's your solute, and you have 100 milliliters of solution. What is the molarity? Well, you know the molarity is equal to the number of moles of solute per liters of solution. Okay, this is not in moles, this is our solute. NaCl is our solute. How do we know that? Because water is always our solvent. Okay, so we have to get our grams to moles, and then this milliliters here doesn't work either. We need it to be in liters. So I'm going to convert my milliliters to liters just using dimensional analysis. Okay, there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter, so we've got 0.1 liter. And then we've got to convert our grams to moles using the mass from the periodic table, rounded to the 10th. Okay, so our grams to moles. So we've been doing that a lot, right? So I don't round yet, and I'm not rounding my answer yet because I want to have as much information as possible to get an accurate answer. Okay, so I just went off a few more sig figs than normal. Okay, so then to find molarity, I just put my moles, because this is moles, that's the same thing as there, over my liters, which is right here, and just divide those two, and I end up getting 0.15 moles per liter. or 0.15 m. You can use either unit to express molarity. Molarity is moles per liter, but you can use capital M to represent that. It's faster, that's why we do that. So this is another way of doing it. You can go ahead and look at it, see if you like that way. It's fine. Either way is fine. So let's have you try this one on your own, okay? So what I'd like you to do is just write down the equation for molarity. You know you have to use the molarity equation when you see the capital M, okay? And then just think about, well, what do I plug and chug? So pause, do the problem on your own, please. Try it first, please, then start the video. So here's my equation, okay? And remember, molarity is the same as moles per liter. So if you've become very unit driven, which I hope you have, you'll see why things cancel out when you plug stuff in. So I plug in 0.70 moles per liter because that capital M means the same thing as moles per liter. X is my number of moles, okay? And then 1.5 liter, that's my solution volume. Now you can see if you solve for X, what ends up happening is your liters will cancel out, leaving you with just moles, which is what you want. Okay, so you solve for that, and there you go, you get your answer. If I wanted to get to grams, I'd have to do one additional step, and that would be taking my moles, go in the bottom, go moles to grams, looking up the grams from the periodic table, the mass from the periodic table is equal to 1 mole, and then do that calculation. But since they only asked for moles here, I could stop right there. Now, I also could do this unit conversion-wise, or dimensional analysis-wise. Okay, all I have to do is write down 1.5 liters. I'm looking for moles, so I could write that over on the far right. And then I know that I have 0.7 moles of NaCl for every liter. My liters would cancel out, and bam, there you get your answer. So there's a couple different ways you can solve these problems. Always look at your answer to make sure it makes sense. So how do percent solutions differ? When I'm looking at a percentage, we know percentages is part divided by total times 100. Like if you're knowing the girls in the classroom, divide by the total number of people in the classroom times 100, you have your percentage of girls in the classroom. It's not that much different for percent solutions. Here's your formula for percent by volume. It's just going to be your volume of solute divided by your total volume, that's the volume of the solution, times 100. If you wanted to know how much solvent you use, you would subtract those two volumes. Now, this times 100 thing is because we're doing a percentage. Anytime you want percentage, you take your ratio or your fraction and multiply by 100. Okay, so here we go. Let's do a problem. So in my problem right here, okay, I highlighted right here ethanol, and then we've got water. Now we know that water is our universal solvent, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and read through the question. What's the percent by volume? So percent is what we're looking for. So percent's what we're looking for. Okay, and then it's talking about ethanol. Ethanol is definitely going to be our solute. Okay, so that's going to be the volume that we put on top. And then it says diluted to a volume of 250 milliliters. So that means my total volume is 250 milliliters, so I can use that directly right here. If I had said that I diluted it with 250 milliliters of water, I would have to add those two to get my total volume of solution. Okay, and so then you just take 85, divide by 250, the milliliters will cancel out. You multiply by 100 because you need it to be in percents, and there you go. So here's another way of looking at it. When you're looking at percentage by mass, it's very similar. It's just that we're using mass of solute over the mass of solution. So again, we're looking at the part, which is the solute, divided by the total, which is the solution made up of the solute and the solvent. So this one says, what is the mass of NaCl in 250 grams of a 15% NaCl solution? I'd like you to pause the video and give it a shot. All right, you've restarted your video. I think you recognize that 250 grams is going to be the solution mass. We want to know the mass of the NaCl, so this is going to be our unknown, the mass of the solute. And the 15% we're going to put over here, but remember you're going to have to divide that 15% by 100, right? So you plug it into the formula. Okay, don't forget the times 100, or you can automatically get rid of the times 100 by calling that 0.15. Then you just solve for x, get x all by itself, multiplying both sides by 250 grams, and then you end up with your answer, and I sig figged it to 2 sig figs. Okay, so that's it for those math problems. So to calculate the molarity of a solution, divide the moles of solute by the total volume of the solution in liters. Make sure you know that diluting a solution reduces the number of moles of solute per unit volume, but not the total number of moles. And percent by volume and by mass is the total, or the part of the solute divided by the total of the solution. Here are your equations, and these are your definitions. And you have finished now the notes for this mini unit. So go off and do the quiz, and then be ready tomorrow to do an overall summative quiz tomorrow in class, or outside of class. It's up to you because it's open notes. Have a good day.